I learned to crochet when I was 5, but there are so many tips and tricks that I have only learned in the last 10 or maybe 15 years, and that I wish I would have known earlier, because they would really have helped in my crochet life earlier. Over the last number of years, I have made many videos with tips, and from the comments on those videos, I have a fairly good idea what tips people find really very useful. But here I have gone through all the different ones that I can remember, and I have chosen 5 that I use all the time and that I find the most useful. I'll show those 5 now, and then at the end I will still have one more that I only learned very recently. The first one is about how to get straight edges when you are crocheting double crochets back and forth. This is double crochets back and forth using the American crochet term. And if you just go back and forth the basic way, you end up with one or the other problems. Either it sort of bulges out and comes in again and bulges out. That happens when you start in the same stitch as where you ended. Or you get holes when you start in the next stitch. But there's an easy fix. I'm approaching the end of a row here, and let's see what we can do. So I continue the last couple of stitches, and now there's one left, and I will start a double crochet, in this case at the top of 3 chains that were used for turning, but I don't finish it. I leave it in here so that I have 2 loops on the hook, and I start a second double crochet in the same stitch. And now that I have 3 loops on the hook, I'll pull through all of them. That creates a slightly thicker stitch, so there's neither a hole nor this sort of denting. Now it's important to know that this here counts as 1 stitch. So whatever you are doing, this is only 1 stitch. And then we turn. Instead of chaining 3, just chain 2 and turn. And then we start the row normally, and you start in the very first stitch here. Double crochets, and then you keep going. And you do exactly what we did here every time you come to the end of a row, regardless of how long, of course, your rows are, or whatever kind of stitches there are in the middle of the row. Here I crocheted all these after showing that first bit, so you see how even the edges are there compared to these and these. This next one is a tip that when I have shown it, I get any amount of comments saying over and over that, oh, I wish I had known this before, and all these other videos show it in such a complicated way, and just thanking me for showing it in such an easy way. And that is the magic ring. So I just do it quickly on 1 finger and it works. I find that there's no need for these complicated explanations that you often see. Magic ring or circle or loop all mean the same. So you take your yarn, you go around your index finger once, hold it in here, and then under here and get the yarn and make a stitch. So that's the actual circle. And then you do whatever you need to do for the first round. I'll chain 3 first and then crochet 9 double crochets. Here, and now we are ready to tighten the magic circle, so you just pull there, and then you continue with whatever you're going to make. And very important that you go around with this tail here in the stitches and then still go to the opposite direction before you cut it so it doesn't come loose. I need a crochet cord or I-cord very often for all types of projects. And after I found out this way that I'm going to show now, I haven't really gone back to all the other ones that I know. because this is so quick and simple. First, take a tail of yarn that's 3 times the length of the cord you want to make, and then make a slip knot. Hold it like this. This here is the tail and this is the working yarn. And then go under the tail yarn like this here, and then go and get the yarn from there and pull through. And again like this here, get it there and continue. Under and yarn. So it starts creating a cord like this here. The next tip is super simple, but one that I always use. Anytime I need to make a long chain or a foundation row, I put a stitch marker of any kind after every 20 stitches, and then I don't need to count the whole chain. The fifth one is this simple method of thickening your yarn. So if you have fine yarn or if you want really chunky yarn, it's easy to triple it without using several balls of yarn at the same time. A number of people have commented that this technique is called Navajo plying. It may well be called that, but whatever it's called, it's very, very handy. I use it a lot in yarn bombing. Here I have some Aran weight yarn and I want to triple this. So what you do, set it out in so that there's 3 strands of it, like this here, with the tail here to the right, and take hold of all of the 3, and then make a slip knot as if this was just one yarn. So just make a slip knot whichever way you make it. And then you start to crochet. Just start to crochet until, depending on how long your loops were, you come to this here loop. And you have your working yarn here. And what you do is you put the working yarn through the loop, like this here, and you pull. So you hold on to it, and you pull and pull. I have here maybe about 1 meter, not quite. And then you continue crocheting normally, and when you come to this here join, you just treat it as if it wasn't there. It's not going to show at all. So you just crochet across that. And you can of course use then any stitches. So now I'll do the same again. I'll see that the yarn comes through that there loop, and I pull, and then just leave it like that and continue crocheting normally. The join's already in here and I can't even see it. And then the simple tip I mentioned I learned just recently. Unfortunately, I don't remember where I learned it. But if you are like me, you do have several hooks in most of the sizes, but you may well have a favorite hook. So you would use that one when you happen to have several projects on the go that need the same size of a hook. I used to pin tags with the number of the hook, but it's so much easier. You simply take a photo of the project and the hook in such a way that it shows the size of the hook. And let me know down in the comments if there's one tip that you especially always use. Till next time!